And welcome to my new Let's Play of Metroid Prime. So this is the Wii version, if you can tell, so that's why there's actually no title screen, because in the Wii version you don't have a menu, which is unfortunate because, in my opinion, the menu song in this game is one of the best menu songs in any video game. That sounds like hyperbole, but that is actually how I legitimately feel about the song. So this is a first-person adventure game, not a shooter, if you want to be precise, made by Retro Studios in 2001 or 2002. I don't remember when it came out. It was near launch, which was impressive because the Nintendo 64 didn't even get a Metroid. And Metroid was in the works for the N64, but I think it had some issues and thus never happened. I'm not really explaining anything about the game because I'm just going through all the intro stuff. I guess I'll explain mechanics a little bit later. So Metroid was kind of dead after Super Metroid, partly just because the creator of the series, Gunpei Yokoi, had passed away in a car accident, so he also wanted the series to be just 3 games. His intention was to have it be 3 games, so I think it was Retro, and I think Miyamoto also had something to do with this game's inception, in terms of just making a sort of side story, because this is essentially a side story to Metroid. It takes place after the first game, and before the second game, which is why I'm playing this next. You may be thinking to yourself, wait, what about Metroid 2? And that's exactly the reason, because, well, Metroid 2 is also not that fun. So that was a map room. So we have a full map of this spaceship. This is the frigate Orpheon, which is a space pirate vessel that's quite honestly transporting some pretty dangerous cargo. So we are galactic bounty hunter Samus Aran, who has been tasked with stopping the space pirates. Now, there's a logbook somewhere. You can actually, that's a good thing to note. If you press minus, you can actually select a different visor. In the original, I think it was the D-pad, but we don't have enough buttons for that, so we have to use the minus button and pointer. C is the morph ball, which I think would have been X in the original, or Y. No, X, because Y is missile, I think. A is jump, B is shoot. This is actually the alternate control setup. The default is to actually have A be shoot and B be jump, which is actually like the original GameCube, but honestly I find that really cumbersome. On a shooter it makes sense, with the GameCube having it be the A button, because it is the largest button on the controller that isn't a trigger, so it makes sense to put it as that, but doesn't make it any easier to actually aim and shoot with A button in the ones with motion controls. So here's an important tutorial. See, this is orange, meaning this is just kind of a thing you can scan. You don't really get anything for it, but if you scan it, you get some information, and also it becomes sort of dull color. If you scan this red one, you actually get an important piece of data. This is actually really interesting because it's indicating that this is a follow-up to Metroid 1/0 mission, which is again why I'm doing this chronologically next. And you can read all the logs on your own time in the logbook. But interestingly enough, yeah, because it says something about this 3 frigates escaping Planet Zebes, yeah, that confirms this is a direct follow-up. So I just like that as a cool little detail, and I'll be trying to go for as much of the lore and like important scans as possible, but I don't make any guarantees because logbook completion is really tough, because there's some things that are actually downright missable. So I'm going to do my best. By the way, something to make note of: the pause button, or the plus button, it gives you access to other beams, but we don't actually have any at the moment. So we have to scan this to open it. Also, something cool is in this game, if you have the charge beam, you can actually charge up in order to draw weapons or ammo and health to use. That's cool. I remember playing this game for the first time in 2009. Don't ask how I know that, but I think I played this one. This might have been my first Metroid, either this or Fusion, which coincidentally came out like I think a week apart from each other. I don't think they were exactly the same day though. I think they were about a week apart. I may be wrong, but Fusion can actually interface with this game, and you can actually unlock the Fusion suit from Fusion, in addition to the original Metroid, and yes, as a bonus. Obviously the Wii version does not have that because they want you to buy it on the Wii Virtual Console. Which makes sense. Why is the door closing? I apparently did not go through the door fast enough. As always in Metroid, you can have 3 bombs at a time, and yes, you can bomb jump if you're feeling crazy. There is a few places where bomb jumping is necessary in the GameCube version, and I'm very emphatically saying in the GameCube version, because in this version, if you flick the Wiimote upwards, you actually do a morph ball jump. This is a save room. This allows you to save your game, which we will not be doing, but you actually have your energy restored, so that's pretty helpful. Scan this. I had a tough time with this game on my first playthrough. How old would I have been? It would have been 8 years ago, so I would have been about 13 or 14. Yeah, I had a pretty tough time because I didn't play shooters like ever. And welcome to the first boss of the game. Already, we're only 10 minutes in practically, and there's already a boss. This is the Parasite Queen. Obviously this is what we're sent to destroy, because Samus is usually sent to destroy space pirate weapons like this. No, spam missiles. Also make sure you scan this thing first, because you don't get a second chance at this. You literally see this guy, or girl technically, one time and that's it. Now I am playing on normal, I'm not playing on veteran because I would get destroyed. But yeah, this boss has looked really easy on normal for some reason. Just missile spam. Also, if you double tap A, you strafe, which is really helpful, so keep that in mind. Yeah, that's a really easy, nice little, easier into the game kind of boss fight, and I'm totally okay with that. It basically teaches you how to strafe because of the rotating force fields.
Evacuate immediately.
That doesn't sound good. So, you've seen other Metroid games, right? They love blowing up buildings and being like, oh, you have like a time limit to escape. So that is exactly what's going on right here. So what we need to do is get out of the facility in 7 minutes. Now 7 minutes is actually super generous. Even getting lost is not that bad. Make sure you scan this. This deactivates the turret, which is a lot easier than actually trying to fight it. Yeah, these guys can't actually be added because they're technically... Oh, how to describe it? Oh yeah, scanning health even counts for the logbook, so that's how ridiculous some of these requirements are. Because these guys are not like at full power. I guess we find some space pirates that are like regular enemies, and those are the ones that are actually counted in the logbook. So keep that in mind. We don't need to scan these space pirates for now, but later. Also, next time we see a turret, we should scan it, because I don't know how many turrets we'll really see. Scan these, because I don't know if we're getting another shot at it. Small parasites. Imagine if they all grew up to be the size of Parasite Queen. That'd be kind of scary, actually. This game is rated T for teen. I should also have probably said that sooner. Yeah, sci-fi violence, basically, as they say in movies. Which is actually a good point. The DSRB is actually incredibly vague compared to the whatever the motion picture rating system is. Yeah, it's like incredibly vague. Sometimes like, oh, fantasy violence, and some things are like really not fantasy violence. So what else? I basically played this game in Fusion, and then I think I found Zero Mission not too long after. And then I think I played 3 next, because, you know, obviously it was on Wii, it was really dirt cheap at the time. I think it's actually going up in price, I may be mistaken. After that I think I played... I'm not sure which one I actually played next, if I played Other M, or first game, or Prime Echoes, which is the second game. I think I played Other M before Echoes, at least, and I played the NES version when all the 3DS games, or all the NES games were released as ambassador titles. Hello. So that would have been about 2012-ish when I played the first Metroid, which was also the same year as wait a minute. Would that have been that year? I'm trying to remember, because I have a distinct memory of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Quite frankly, it's going to be quite a story when I get to Echoes. And I'm trying to place it. So that's Ridley. He's looking a little bit different, you may think. And now, when it comes to Ridley, this is where Metroid continuity is completely chucked out a window and down an airlock. Ridley sometimes goes back and forth between being like an actual like organic being and being like a cyborg, and that's still like the big plot hole Prime to Super. It's like, how does Ridley suddenly stop being a cyborg? Unless it's not the same Ridley, that's a good point. I'm trying to remember when an album came out, because I associated one album with Metroid Prime 2, and it's actually a really weird story. So that's gonna be fun when we get to it. So we got hit by a bolt of electricity, meaning we lost all of our gear. Which, get used to it in the Prime series. We don't have the charge beam, we don't have the morph ball, missiles. So yeah, we're kind of not in the best shape at the moment. We just have a basic run-of-the-mill blaster, and that's it. Arm cannon, technically not a blaster. And definitely make... Wait, which way is actually the way out? Okay, it's on fire. So that's preventing you from accidentally going through the wrong door, which I greatly appreciate. Now, interestingly, this game actually does use L targeting or Z targeting. Which to me is actually really fascinating that that's something they actually took from Ocarina of Time. Graphically, this game still holds up, I'd say. The only problem is anti-aliasing is pretty much non-existent on close-up shots of things, and some of the environmental obstacles look a little bit octagonal instead of being like rounded. But other than that, the game looks really good. So, Ridley escaped to the planet below. Talon Overworld. So this is the planet Talon 4, which is basically replacing Zebes from the first game. It's actually kind of similar in a lot of ways. I feel like this is just the designers trying to show off about like how good our rain effects are. If you look up, you can actually see rain hitting Samus's visor, and to put it very bluntly, this is the only time this actually makes sense in the game. Because in most games, it doesn't make sense to look like you have a windshield in front of your face. But in this case, you actually do have a windshield in front of your face, so it all works out. Now, this game was actually highly influential in the 2000s. I think I remember hearing something about it being kind of inspirational to Halo? I think it was Halo. I know not Knights of the Old Republic. Republic Commando was a big one. Star Wars, a Star Wars title for the Xbox original and the PC, I think. I hear it's very much like Halo and kind of like a blend with some of the HUD elements of this game being kind of inspirational for Republic Commando, which I've actually never played despite being a huge Star Wars fan. It's kind of odd. So we can't go this way because we need missiles. So that kind of sucks. So just make note of it. I wish, one is the map. I think it's Z in the GameCube version. One thing I really wish, and I hope this is the case in Prime 4, which, by the way, that's actually a thing. Elephant in the room that I completely ignored. This is being recorded in June 15, to be exact. So, part of the reason I'm actually less playing this game now is because, well, 2 Metroid games just got announced, so I'm like, maybe I should actually try to get through the different Metroid games before 4 comes out. So yeah, honestly, I've never really been the biggest Metroid fan, but I do like the sort of exploration of 1 and specifically 2. 2's my favorite. Unpopular opinion. Most people like Metroid Prime 1 the best. This little glowy wall is Chozo lore. Also, I keep forgetting to scan enemies. So yeah, this is another planet where the Chozo have left quite an influence, it seems. I'm not going to be reading all those because, quite honestly, that's a lot of information. TMI. So yeah, I'm going to go for all logbook scans, but no guarantees I'll actually succeed. But in any case, these are the Chozo ruins. And we're just about at our stopping place. So, next time we'll try to see if we can get our powers back. Thank you for watching, and I hope you join me next time for more Metroid Prime.